massive there. But big game here, France versus New Zealand at the Stade de Francais. And you're up here first.
Oh, I was hoping I wasn't. Right. All Blacks versus France. France coming off a win up against Georgia. They won up 41 points to 15. New Zealand coming off a loss up against Ireland, 29 points to 20.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't see France starving New Zealand of the possession as much as Ireland did, because I think French rugby kind of involves a little bit more kicking than Irish rugby, I would say. So I feel like New Zealand, if they can get their hands on the ball a little bit more in this game, they may be able to get a little bit more of something going and try and tire out France rather than vice versa. But France at home, we've talked about it, or I've talked about it for the top 14 many, many times. That home field advantage in France can do wonders for your side for the
people
confidence.
tipping them for the World Cup.
So I'm going to say, Aaron Smith, is he going to be back for New Zealand? Because he hasn't played any rugby in a little while, but he is still world class. Him versus Dupont will be one of those battles that I'm looking forward to. But I'm going to back New Zealand here, because we did say originally that if New Zealand did have a loss leading into that France game, then they would be winning.
I believe that's what we said. I do believe that's what we said. I can't guarantee it, but I believe that's what we said pre-tournament.
So I'm going to say New Zealand win this game. And even though I'd like to think, and even though I kind of in the back of my mind think this game is going to be only decided by less than 10, I'm going to say New Zealand win it in the end, 34 points to 17.
I think a high-scoring game could actually be on the cards here. I think it could be. I could honestly see a 38-28 kind of game.
Yeah.
I'm taking New Zealand here. I've changed. Obviously, like I said, I know for a fact that I said it. I can't guarantee that you said it, but I can guarantee that I said that if New Zealand lost, because I originally did tip France before the tournament, like we both did, but I could now see New Zealand reeling from that Irish game. And everyone talking down upon New Zealand and talking about the aura again. It's all about that damn well All Blacks aura that people talk about.
I've just thought about it. Beauden Barrett out with an HIA now. He is not actually going to be available for this game. And also Anton Leonard-Brown might be missing as well. So the All Blacks may have a couple players out that I didn't think about right then. And
okay,
then
are you still going to take New Zealand or are you going to take France?
I'll still take New Zealand, but I'm going to give France an extra 6 points. So I'm going to say New Zealand 34,
by the way,
23 for France.
How's that deportation looking like right now?
For myself.
Yeah, because obviously you tipped Ireland and Ireland won, so you were like, "I'll get deported if."
I've had a couple messages, couple letters in the mail. You know,
I did see on your stream people were commenting. We had a few nasty little comments about you on the podcast channel as a joke, obviously not like legit, but crazy New Zealand. He told you not politely, to do something to yourself, but I'm still going to take New Zealand here. I'm going to go 38-28. I'm going to go 38-28. I think that France have been relatively underwhelming throughout this tournament too. Even though they beat Georgia and Argentina, I don't think they've been fantastic, and their teams are a lot less than New Zealand. It's all coming back to that aura. Like I said just before, it's all coming back to the fact that every time New Zealand lose a game, it always comes down to have the All Blacks lost their aura. And if you're a Southern Hemisphere fan, a Wallabies fan, Box fan, Argentinian fan, you know that aura is not there anymore. Even as a Wallabies fan, I am not scared of the All Blacks in regards to the All Blacks skill set. I say this every single time I stream. It's not about the skill set. It's about the mindset. I believe that Australia believes they're going to lose before they go into the game based on our history. I don't believe that our skill set is well and truly behind the All Blacks that we lose every single year. I just think that because we haven't beaten them at Eden Park since 1987, and because we haven't beaten the All Blacks at the Bledisloe Cup since 2002, I think it was, I don't believe that we believe we can win. So that's why we lose. So that's why I think that the All Blacks always also, they're going to have something to prove here to come back and say about the aura and whatnot. But I don't believe they have an aura. And I think that you've seen that when they lost to Argentina last year. They also lost to the Australians at Suncorp. They lost to the South Africans this year in the second game. That was a very good game, however, and nearly lost to them both times, mind you. Nearly did lose to them both times, but it was very close. So overall, yes, I don't believe they have the aura, and I've been saying this for years now. And yes, I believe that their skill set is not as good as when the Richie McCoy era. The Richie McCoy era was the best rugby team in history. The Richie McCoy era was one of the best out of every single nation ever. Better than the Wallabies of the 1990s /80s, whatnot. Better than the Box of 2019, 2007, and the 90s and whatnot. Better than everyone. I think that Rich McCoy was there. But I think that they're going to be reeling here because everyone's talking shit about them again. And I'm going to take New Zealand to win 38-28. Would you disagree with anything I just said?
I think that it is going to be a high-scoring one. I know that wasn't the part of it that you were trying to get
I'm not
rid of.
referring to that.
Yeah. But I'd say, Richie McCaw, Dan Carter, like that kind of
That's
era
Dan
was
Carter gets
just
included with
absolutely-
Richard McCaw era.
Yeah, I had to throw his name in there though, of course. But it's going to be an interesting fixture. But the All Blacks, they will want to come out in this game and really try and finish this tournament or this kind of competition, I guess you could call it, in the way on a high, because having these slight bragging rights heading into like the next few months, when you think about that World Cup, because France
This will be
versus
the
New
last
Zealand,
time New Zealand play France before they play them in the opening game of the World Cup.
So it does mean that there is certainly a lot of time to be able to either look at your loss and go, geez, boys, what happened there? We're going to do it again in a couple of years' time. Or look at it as, okay, we did very well here. And now we just need to make sure that we keep on improving so that we can do the same thing at the World Cup and make our way through to the quarterfinals, at least, hopefully in that one. But yeah, the stage, I think New Zealand.
Who did you say
excited.
referred to making it through to the quarterfinals?
The All Blacks.
We're going to move on from that. Like,
Yeah,
you
but we
actually
wanna
genuinely believe there's a
qualify-
potential of
We
New
want to
Zealand not
qualify
making.
first in that group is kind of what I was referencing, so that we do get a little bit of an easier game in the quarterfinals, because France,
Going to beat the best.
they're at home. If France get a win in that first grouping, like they will actually possibly have the potential to finish higher than New Zealand.
They will
and
finish
then-
high. No, your
Yeah.
group, besides
So-
that, they will finish high. Whoever wins
So
that
I
game
feel
finishes
like
first.
I needed to reword it, didn't I?
Yes, because
Little
it sounded like he was saying that All Blacks, it's kind of 50-50 where they're going to make the group stage, make the quarterfinals. And I was like, if they don't make the quarterfinals, I truly believe that whoever the coach of New Zealand is at the time should not be coming back to New Zealand. If it's Foster, I don't believe Foster's doing. I don't think the All Blacks win this tournament because of Foster, mind you. And a lot of Kiwis actually believe that too. But that's if he's still there. But anyway, I think that's it. We've spoken a lot here about this France versus New Zealand game, and not all of it has necessarily been about France versus New Zealand game. So I'm taking New Zealand. You're taking New Zealand, but I'm going 10 points and you're going 7 points, was it?
I said 34 points to 23, so 9-point game.
34 to 23 would
11-point game.
that'd be 11 points, mate.
It's more than I thought it was.
Let's move on here to the last game of the weekend, which is Ireland versus Argentina.